Some story may finally be happening with Alexa Bliss, so we'll see what's going on there. We'll also check out the potential news stories for the Judgment Day. Let's start things off with the Judgment Day. The original Judgment Day with Edge, Rhea, and Damian seemed like it was on a good path to being something special, but then Edge was kicked out and replaced with Finn Balor. Finn's initial moment of joining the Judgment Day was great. All three members laid their old leader out to waste, and Rhea would go on to win a #1 contenders match later on that same night. So the Judgment Day was featured and standing tall in multiple segments that night. But ever since that night Finn Balor joined, not much has been going on with the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley obviously can't be there right now since she's dealing with multiple injuries, so her absence is most definitely felt, and Finn and Damian have sort of been just hanging around as an ordinary tag team since Rhea has been injured. We know Edge is on his way back to most likely feud with the Judgment Day, so that will bring them back to the forefront and spotlight once he's back. But what about right now? What will Finn Balor and Damian Priest do until Edge is back? Well, it looks like this week's Raw gave us a possible new direction and story for both the Mysterios and the Judgment Day. Judgment Day got on the mic before their match and spoke to the Mysterios. Damian Priest called Rey Mysterio washed up and told Dominik that he has to start living his life and stepping out of his father's shadow. Then after Finn Balor defeated Rey Mysterio, he once again mocked Dominik for helping his father on the floor and invited him to come to the winning side. This is obviously not the first time that this sort of story has been hinted at with the Mysterios. Dominik's debut story in 2020 was mostly based around this same concept. He was sticking up for his father because Seth Rollins had brutally attacked Rey for several weeks. Seth Rollins basically told the same thing to Dominik, to join his group and step out of his father's shadow. Dominik obviously wasn't going to do that back then because he was still brand new to the main roster at the time. But how about now, a few years later, could we see Dominik heel turn? Well, Dominik finally turning on his father has been something WWE themselves have had on their mind since fall 2021. Last fall, WWE started a story that featured Dominik constantly getting frustrated with his father's presence at ringside and how he's always getting in the way. It was clear that this story was hinting at the idea of Dominik going solo, but that story was just mysteriously dropped out of nowhere, and they started to get along again. So the Judgment Day's proposal to Dominik may be the one that he considers this time around. He passed up similar opportunities from Seth Rollins all those years ago. He was frustrated with his father last year. So, is this the opportunity that really makes Dominik consider leaving his father's side? It's definitely possible. If Judgment Day stays consistent with their recruiting of Dominik, maybe that'll increase the chances of him accepting their offer. Finn Balor and Damian Priest have both held titles in NXT and the main roster in recent years. Maybe Dominik feels like they can get him back on track and stop him from being just a sidekick to Rey Mysterio. So, some fans feel like it may not happen, but if this story continues and Judgment Day stays going after Dominik, maybe the payoff would be the big moment of Dominik turning on his father to align himself with the Judgment Day. That seems like the only logical payoff there is if this story continues. It could be Dominik turning, or maybe the payoff is Edge's actual return after all. Edge is close with Rey Mysterio and Dominik, so it would be great to see if Edge makes the save himself. Only a few weeks left to go before Summerslam, so if Edge is returning for a Summerslam match, that means he's returning in the next few weeks. So if the payoff is Dominik joining the Judgment Day, maybe that can also happen within the next few weeks as well. Dominik will get out from under Rey Mysterio and will be given the spotlight to do something on his own, with Finn Balor and Damian Priest by his side. So no matter what direction they decide to take this story in, it looks like it could be very exciting either way. Alexa Bliss returned back in May. It's now mid-July, and she still hasn't had a singles feud or storyline since returning. However, something may be on the way. Alexa Bliss teamed up with Asuka this week to take on Doudrop and Nikki. Alexa would pick up the win for the team. But the most interesting note about this match was some of the hints from commentary. Corey Graves and the other commentators went back and forth about Alexa Bliss. Graves mentioned that he didn't think Alexa had the same edge to her that she had prior to the therapy sessions, and how he felt like she was missing something. Other commentators chimed in and said that they also feel it's only a matter of time before Alexa Bliss explodes. So those lines definitely appear to hint at the idea that even though Alexa's beyond extreme normal right now, that something may eventually trigger her to go back to her old ways. Maybe it's a heel turn, maybe it's reverting to the dark persona, but it just appeared that they were seriously hinting that something could happen later on in the future. Fightful also reported Monday afternoon that someone in creative suggested that another superstar should steal Lilly. The idea of stealing Lilly isn't new at all. That's a theory and fan idea that's been around for several months, and it's a good one. Stealing Lilly instantly opens up a potential huge arc and new direction for Alexa Bliss. Alexa's therapist said back in February that as long as Lilly is by her side, she will be healed and normal. So if Lilly mysteriously goes missing one week, this should cause Alexa to slowly start relapsing and panicking as she's looking for Lilly. Just having Lilly there is keeping Alexa at peace. Take Lilly out of the equation, and Alexa should most definitely lose her mind again. Especially if they don't show us who took it. Just have it be a mystery. Have Alexa walk into the locker room and have the doll be gone. Doing the story in that fashion will be great because it opens up a world of new possibilities and theories. We would be talking about if Lilly just left on her own or if she was legitimately stolen. And if Lilly was stolen, then that'll lead us to talking about the list of top suspects for who could be behind the kidnapping of Lilly. What WWE Superstar could possibly do that to Alexa Bliss? Who would want to steal the doll to mess with her that much? That opens up a great possibility for Alexa Bliss. It'll be fun for the fans to speculate about who stole Lilly. And the whole idea of Lilly being stolen finally lets Alexa Bliss have some character development as well. Maybe she starts off as normal, assuming that she just misplaced Lilly, but as the time and weeks go on, Alexa starts changing and evolving back to her own dark self since Lilly is gone. We know how WWE could be at times. Sometimes they do forget about things that they implemented into their own storylines. So hopefully that's not the case here with Alexa's story. Hopefully they remember the fact that they already pretty much told us back in February what would happen if Alexa Bliss lost that doll. If Alexa loses it, she can't just be like, oh whatever, and move on. She should be absolutely insane looking for the missing Lilly. Now, let's say Alexa is unsuccessful in finding Lilly and the person never comes forward. What would happen then? Well, maybe that would open up the door for Alexa to go through her original return plans of introducing a new Lilly model and even a darker persona for herself. That would be very interesting to see. So be on the lookout for that potential stolen Lilly storyline if that takes place in the coming weeks. Alexa's character may finally have some story going again. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.